In 1996, McFarlane Toys unleashed total chaos on the world. A completely original toy line that wasn't based on an existing comic book, cartoon, or movie. The idea is simple. In a far-off sector of the galaxy, a battle of good and evil is fought by a handful of warriors chosen from the eons of time. Their distinctive skills are adapted to this war, known as Total Chaos. And today, we will be looking at one such warrior, Dragonblade, here on KREED'S Collection. Hey, welcome back to another episode of KREED'S Collection. Today we're checking out Dragonblade from the 1996 toy line Total Chaos by McFarlane Toys. Obviously today it's another unboxing, so let's get started by taking a look at the package. So right here you can see Total Chaos, the name of the line, as well as right here it says DB and Series 1. I assume the DB is for Dragonblade, which is actually written right here in the upper right hand corner. And finally down here it says Battle Armor with Real Cloth Tunic. Awesome! Alright, let's take a quick look at the back of the card before we open him up. Here at the top you can see all the figures in Series 1, as well as some of the other figures and other lines McFarlane Toys made. Instructions on how to set up his weapons and whatnot. And right here is his file card. Alright, let's go ahead and get this guy out of the package. I usually use my trusty X-Acto, and I just carefully cut down here, and it allows me to open it up and slide out the figure. Once I get all the pieces out of the tray, I take it and I slip it back into the package like this. That way the package is still 100% displayable. And here we have Dragonblade. Dragonblade is a knight whose acts of bravery were unparalleled when he walked the earth in the Middle Ages. Like the scars on his face, he carries a dragon skull as a token of his courage. His armor and weapons have been recast in a new, lightweight alloy that is stronger than iron. The new material gives him the familiarity of his old armor with added swiftness and agility he never knew before. And now that we know a bit more about Dragonblade, let's take a closer look. As usual, McFarlane Toys sets the bar high. There was nothing like this in the 90s. This was so far ahead of every other toy, it's ridiculous. I mean, check out all the scars on his head there and his milky eye. Also, look at this shoulder armor. It's really spectacular. Also, if you look closely, there is embossing on all of the black armor. It's kind of hard to make out though because it's so dark. And I know in the beginning I made fun of the cloth tunic, but this is actually really great. Details like this are why McFarlane Toys stood above the rest. The detail continues into the leg armor and the chainmail underneath, and even the boots, you can see how they're strapped on. As we come around to the back, you can see the rest of the cloth tunic, which I would have been okay with it coming down a little further, but it still looks really good regardless. Now we're going to go ahead and take a look at Dragonblade's articulation. So here at the knee, they can bend at a 90 degree, which is excellent for McFarlane Toys. They usually don't even have a knee joint. And then the hips can bend forward all the way up 90 degrees. They go forward, but not back. His arms have a 360 degree swivel, but the armor's on the way, so they don't move that much really. And his head can move left, barely, and right. And that is it. That is going to cover all of Dragonblade's articulation. Now we're going to take a look at some of the accessories, starting with Dragonblade's helmet, which is one of the best I've ever seen for any action figure. I love the nose guard here, and in general, I just think this looks really great. The ridge here on top and the tiny wings suggest to me that he killed a baby dragon to make this helmet, which is kind of horrible, but it's still awesome. And here's a few pics of him with the helmet on, just so you can have an idea of what it looks like up close. Here's a closer look at Dragonblade's shield, which has a dragon wrapped around the edges, a dragon sigil on the front, and then the colors match his shoulder armor. Here on the back is the clip, which allows you to pop it on his forearm, and even though the plastic is a bit flimsy, I still think this is a nice accessory. Now here is his sword, which has a nice looking gold blade that fades into a black hilt. Again, a bit flimsy, but still sturdy enough that it holds up well. And right here on his belt, there's a place that holds his sword. You have to push it through backwards like this, which makes no sense. Of course, he couldn't draw it if it was like this, but it's just for looks, and it does look pretty sweet. In addition to the sword, Dragonblade also has this dagger, which has a little loop here on the end that you could tie something through if you wanted to. If you ask me, it looks more like a little throwing knife, and it's pretty nice. Like Dragonblade's sword, his dagger can be stored on the other hip. You just slide it into the sheath like that. Now we move on to Dragonblade's giant spear with 3 different blades on it. This is a lot hardier than his shield and his sword, and I assume this is like his signature weapon. And that brings us to his last accessory, the Dragon Skull, which, of course, if you're a Spawn fan, you know is the Violator. It's a nice little nod. Now right here on this slit, you can actually hook that onto the blades of the staff, and you hang this like a trophy. It's just as easy as sliding it down on the blade, and there you go. Dragon Skull on a stick. Easy to prove that you are indeed a dragon slayer. It's that or wear it like a hat. And it just occurred to me, it's not like his last name's Blade and he was named Dragon by his parents. Obviously, he's earned this title somewhere along the line and had to transition into that. Oh hey Barry, long time no see. How you been? I don't go by Barry anymore. It's Dragonblade now. Ha ha ha. Dragonblade, huh? Yeah. Okay, Barry. Oh, is that how we're gonna play it, Adam? Farewell, Dragonblade. See ya, He-Man. Here's a quick look at Dragonblade's file card. If you'd like to read it, pause now. Also, take note that he is wearing the silver armor here, and mine is the black armor variant. And now for our He-Man size comparison. As you can see, Dragonblade and He-Man are almost exactly the same size, but for some reason Dragonblade's head is absolutely tiny, and I didn't even notice it till right now. Oh well, a minor flaw in a stunning figure. Thank you so much for taking the time to watch my toy retrospective for Dragonblade from the 1996 toy line Total Chaos by McFarlane Toys. I've been wanting to open this figure for a really long time, and this show finally gave me a reason to do it. So I hope you had as much fun with this as I did. If you enjoyed the video, please leave a thumbs up. And if you have any thoughts, please leave a comment. I love reading and responding to them. And while you're at it, if you haven't already, please consider subscribing. I'd really appreciate it, and it would help my channel grow. I do a retrospective on a toy from my vintage collection every Wednesday. So hope to see you next week and every week after, here on KREED'S Collection.